this is exactly how you study after school. Now, after school, you probably feel tired, sleepy, exhausted, and you're unwilling to do anything that's known as work or study at all, because you're just like, let me take a nap, I'm exhausted, let me watch some reels, blah, 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 blah. This whole situation might seem very familiar to you. And, like, I feel you, because I felt the exact same for a very long time. Because the whole cycle was like, let me do school, and then I'd come back tired, and let me do some shallow work, and then let me go to bed, and let me go do school again. And this whole cycle, which just, it ruined me. It literally ruined me. And let's be honest, most people do this. They do school, they come back tired, and then they do shallow work, and they do shallow work so much, eventually, I've met people who have basically, they have done so much shallow work the whole year that at the end of the year, even though they quote-unquote studied every single day, they still need to cram. If you studied every single day and you still need to cram, there's serious problems. And this is mainly because they don't know how to study after school. And let's be honest, most people don't know, okay? But all of this changed for me personally when I implemented these 5 techniques. Number 5 is the most important, okay? So stick around because this one is going to be pure gold. So let's start with tip number 1, which is you need to recognize your energy patterns. Basically, you need to recognize when your energies dip, when your energies rise, when they dip again, and when they rise again. This is a random graph, don't mind me, I just picked this off Google. But you need to understand when your energies come up and when they go down. Most people will have a dip right afterwards, let's say coming back from school. Let's say this right over here. But they also could have basically this whole like peak over here. It's all about how you prime yourself and how your whole body is. Now, I could tell you, yes, I'm going to talk more about how you can change the fact that you're tired after school, and you can basically just come back from school and have the energy to do more later on into the video. But as a baseline and a starting level, you need to understand when you're tired and when you have a lot of energy. You can track your dips and rises for a week, or you can use this. This is called Rise, RIZE. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I just have their app. They have a free trial, I think, that you can use. I think it's for like 30 days or a week. I'm not fully sure. I uninstalled it, but it's a good tracking sort of thing. You can download it, and I think according to your phone screen time and when you use your phone, it sort of tracks about when you should have the most energy. And I don't know how much research is there to back this up, but there's something called placebo, and if you see something that you're meant to have more energy in a particular period of time, trust me, you will have that placebo effect and you will feel like, oh, I'm so energized, I can work. So use this. It should give you a basic good amount of stats. And if you don't want to do this, you can track your dips and rises for a week. Doing a week is enough if you can do a month, but let's be honest, by a month you will forget this video exists, okay? Tip number 2. You need to understand this flowchart, okay? Inputs, processes, and outputs. Your inputs are your food, your sleep, your exercise, meditation, social media. Let's put Netflix on here as well. Netflix. Your outputs is basically your total work, that is total quality work. So the quality of your work is basically the time you spent times the intensity. The intensity is basically your focus. The higher amounts of focus, the higher amounts of focus you have, the less amount of time you can work and get more quality work done. And you need to understand, if your inputs are bad, okay, your outputs are also going to be bad. It's like telling a professional chef, okay, it's like telling Gordon Ramsay, you have to cook a 5-star dish with rotten food. because his inputs, like for cooking, your inputs are your ingredients, and let's say your tools. And if your inputs are bad, your outputs will never be good. So you need to focus on these. You need to focus very much like on these. You need to make sure you're eating the correct foods. Don't eat too many carbs before your study sessions. Don't come back from school and have a lot of carbs. Make sure you're getting enough sleep. The recommended sleep is, I think, around 7 to 9. If you're getting less than 7, you're aging yourself by 10 years. Yes, so if you're getting less than 7, two things. Firstly, nobody getting less than 7 hours can function at a good rate, because the percentage of people who can sleep less than 7 hours and have no effect to their being is 0%. 0% of the population. And for the people who consistently do this their lives, they're aging themselves 10 years. So they're going to die 10 years younger. So focus on your sleep. For exercise, the best type of exercise to, let's say, make sure you age better and have better energy is like walking. Not walking. It's cardio. If you do cardio, it's going to be good for you. You can do lifting weights as well, because this is the thing. A lot of people, it will drain their energy to do work, or that's what they think. Most of the time, what I've realized, personally for me and basically every single other person that I've dragged to the gym, while they are, let's say, exercising in the gym, they're lifting, blah, 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 they feel a level of tiredness, but afterwards the gym, and they have some food, they will feel much better right afterwards, because they will feel like, damn, I just did that huge workout and I feel incredible. And personally, some of my deepest work sessions were after I've exercised. And like, exercising is just a good thing. Meditation is basically training your brain. I cannot draw a brain. Let me try. Why? There's no pink. Okay, I'm not gonna draw it. Meditation is you're trying to train your focus. The longer, like, meditation is you focusing on one thing for a long period of time. Most people just focus on their breath. Some people can just stare at a wall, stare at a candle. The longer you can meditate and focus on that particular thing, the longer you can focus. So if you want to train your focus, you can meditate for a long period of time. Personally, for me, the app that I use for meditating, personally, just use a timer. But if you want to use an app, it's called it's called Insight Timer. It basically just gives you a timer, and it just gives you like a little bell at the start and end of your session, which is, I think, much better than those guided meditations, which personally for me, I just get distracted and it's like, you can shut the fuck up. Your processes are your study techniques and your productivity techniques, which you can improve more and more by watching these videos. Your outputs, basically this, and that's how you sort of increase. And you need to make sure you have good inputs. Good inputs, wow, this looks messy as fuck. Good inputs with the good processes, which you're getting literally in this video, will lead to you having incredible amounts of outputs and increased amount of focus. Third tip is controlling your heartbeat, because this is, again, it's something to do with focus. It's something to do with focus. So your BPM, which is your beats per minute, changes your energy levels. Because if your heart rate increases, you become more aware. Therefore, more energy to be used. What? I don't even know what I wrote over here. Therefore, you have more energy that you can use if your heart rate increases, because your awareness is higher, your energy levels is higher. To increase your heart rate, what you can do is exercise, drink water, particularly cold water. That will like slightly increase your heart rate, and it's just good for you. Cold showers, regular showers as well. Caffeine. Be careful with abusing caffeine. It can be your best friend, but it can also be your worst friend, because it is a literal drug, and don't get too reliant on it. But if you can control your heart rate or increase it by doing these, you will be more aware. You'll be more focused. You won't feel the feelings of being exhausted, tired, or sleepy. Because let's say you have let's say you had a life-changing scenario of maybe your car crashed. My drawing skills are questionable, but let's say your car crashed into a tree. This is a tree. And then you almost died. Your BPM is going to go off to the roof, right? And afterwards, you're not going to be relaxed or tired to go to sleep because you just had a near-death experience, which leads you to have more energy, which is why also in near-death experiences, we tend to get way stronger. You will see there's like some research done on it where they've seen that people in near-death situations, they have incredible amounts of power. They can practically lift a car. Okay, so increase your heart rate to be more focused, recognize your energy patterns, use RISE, understand the flow chart, have better inputs. And now we're going to go on to the fourth tip, which is give up. I mean it. I literally mean it. Just give up. This is you. Give up. Just take a nap. That's what I mean by this, okay? 20 or 90 minutes, that's the personal recommendation. Either sleep less than 30 minutes or either sleep less than 30 minutes or sleep for 90 minutes. Pro tip, plan exactly what you're going to do afterwards waking up. And for the people who need some research on why you should sleep this much, 20 minutes, below 30 minutes is, like after the 30-minute mark, you sort of go into, I don't remember the whole thing. There is like a cycle of sleep. There's like sleep cycles. And inside the sleep cycles, there's like 4 stages, I think. And afterwards, you pass the first stage and you wake up right afterwards that first stage. And it starts normally after 30 minutes of you sleeping. You will feel horrible when you wake up. If you sleep for 90 minutes, that's the end of a particular sleep cycle. So you'll feel much better. Yeah, I need to work on my writing. So plan exactly what you're going to do afterwards waking up. Just so you know. So 5th tip. This is, I would say, one of the most important one. Okay, the most important tip. Start now, procrastinate later. Yes, mind blown, right? Just start now and procrastinate later. Never thought of that, Safon. But literally, just start with a small goal. Study for only 5 minutes with an easy or fun task. Once you get in the flow of things, continue. If not, go back to tip 4, which is just take a nap. Because a lot of the time, basically, let me draw this real quick. So to do a particular action, most people, they need motivation. Right? And most people think to basically do this particular action, we need motivation. But what they don't realize is the cycle goes the opposite direction. If you start doing something, you will see some progress, get motivated, and do more of that something. Which is why I was able to study about 5 hours of just pure, it's just past papers. Just legit just past papers of accounting in one day. Because, let me find the sheet. So every single time I finished a particular paper, I marked off. Now I'm not fully finished with it. I still have this little section left. But I basically finished the past paper, highlighted it, finished another past paper, highlighted it, which showed me a level of progress from me doing the action, which gave me more motivation, which made me want to do more action. Okay? So quite literally, just start now. Start for 5 minutes. Something small, something easy, and something that you might find fun. If you get in the flow of things, continue. If not, go back to tip 4 and just give up and take a nap. So, to conclude, recognize your energy patterns. Use RISE, not sponsored by the way. Understand this flow chart. Have better inputs. Control your heartbeat because it can massively help you out. Give up when you're actually tired. Take a nap. That's what I mean. And just start now procrastinating later. Because, yes, you need motivation to do work, but you can also get motivated right afterwards you do that work to do more work, which is which is when you combine this with with progress, being able to see your progress. For me, this was this past paper sheet. This is literally overpowered, and hopefully this helped. And now you can study after school. If you want more resources, go Discord, first link down below. There's a bunch of coaching calls that we do once a week with study sessions as well as many resources. So yeah, bye-bye.